This is big breaking news. A federal emergency has been declared. FEMA is also being deployed in multiple different states, and we are having thousands of people stranded and being rescued right now. This is a ongoing and live situation, and this is actually happening in multiple parts of the country right now. We're having very strange and very devastating events. So let's get into all the details here. Really quick, guys, please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is what's going on right now. We have we have a federal emergency being declared in Kentucky right now. Parts of Kentucky and Tennessee are under states of emergency, and people are stranded, right? Thousands of rescues have happened, and hundreds of people are still stranded and are still evacuating right now. It says here at least 9 people have tragically lost their lives in the most recent round of harsh weather to pummel the United States, including 8 people in Kentucky who passed away as creeks swelled from heavy rain and water-covered roads. It says Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said Sunday that hundreds of people stranded by floodwater had to be rescued. President Donald Trump approved the state's request for a disaster declaration, authorizing the Federal Emergency Management Agency to coordinate relief efforts throughout the state. It says Beshear said that the fatalities include, sadly, a mother and a 7-year-old child were caused by cars getting stuck in high water. He said, quote, "So folks, stay off the roads right now and stay alive. This is the search and rescue phase, and I'm very proud of all the Kentuckians that are out here responding, putting their lives on the line." Very sad. I have small kids, and that's just very sad that that happened, right? But these things happen quick, this flash flooding, and a lot of times you can't tell how deep the water is until you're already in it with your car. So avoid water. Even if you're trapped, stay on the high grounds and wait for these things to clear out and wait for help. It says here that Beshear said that there have been over 1,000 rescues across the state since the storms began on Saturday. The storms knocked out power to about 39,000 homes, and that's just in Kentucky alone, right? It's being reported that there is 156,000 people that are without power right now in Pennsylvania. There's also 105,000 people without power in Maryland, 83,000 people in Virginia, 36,000 in West Virginia, 24,000 in Georgia, 21,000 in Alabama, 41,000 in New York, and 20,000 in Connecticut right now that are without power as well too. So this is along the East Coast, lots of power outages. And it says here that parts of Kentucky and Tennessee received up to 6 inches of rain, according to the National Weather Service. And it says the effects will continue for a while, and a lot of swollen streams and a lot of flooding is going on. Also, a state of emergency was declared in parts of Obion County, Tennessee, after a levee failure on Saturday, flooding the small community of Rives, Tennessee, which is just south of Union City. Rives is home to around 300 people in the western part of the state, and quote, "There will be mandatory evacuations in effect for the residents in Rives due to the rising water. No electricity and freezing temperatures creating a life-threatening situation," said Mayor Steve Carr in a statement Sunday. All right, that's the other thing going on right now. There's flash flooding, there's raining, there's all these things going on, but it's also freezing cold right now too, right? It makes the situation a lot more serious in the winter time with these cold temperatures when this rain is happening and your home was flooded or destroyed or you had to evacuate or whatever it is. It makes the situation a lot more dangerous, right? And it's also being reported that there's another, quote, polar vortex that is moving into the United States as well too. We'll get to more details of that in just a second. It says here also in Atlanta, sadly, a person passed away after a large tree fell on a home early Sunday. All right, something that I always worry about whenever I'm down south in these hurricanes, having these big trees near any homes or near my family's home. Something I always worry about is one of these giant pine trees or one of these big oak trees just falling on the house, and it's just, you don't even see it coming. All right, it's one of those things. And when I was a kid, we had a big oak tree that was actually struck by lightning in the backyard and split in half and fell in the yard. Thankfully it didn't hit anything, but it's just one of those things always in the back of my mind. Trees are very dangerous too, and it's kind of like something that you don't really think about. It says here that the Kentucky River Medical Center in the city of Jackson said that it had closed its emergency department and transferred all patients to 2 other hospitals in the region due to a nearby river flooding. It says here in West Virginia, 13 southern counties were under a state of emergency for flooding, and some areas were cut off to vehicle traffic on Sunday. Volunteer fire departments dealt with flooding in their own buildings while answering rescue and evacuation calls. And right after these storms are going to pass through in the next few days, a, quote, polar vortex is coming down here. It says meteorologists said the U.S. was about to get its, quote, 10th and coldest polar vortex stretching event this season, with the northern Rockies and northern plains first in line. Weather forces in the Arctic are combining to push the chilly air that usually stays near the North Pole into the U.S. and Europe. Authorities in Colorado have already reported 8 people have had fatal vehicle crashes since Valentine's Day. Just in the past 2 days, there's been 8 fatal vehicle crashes in Colorado alone due to weather conditions, and they're warning drivers to be cautious as weather made driving more difficult. And it says here, as also in Colorado, 3 state patrol cruisers that had pulled over along the roadside were struck by other vehicles, including one on Sunday where a trooper had stopped as officials prepared to close a road because of ice. In each case, the troopers were out of their cruisers at the time and were uninjured. It also says here the National Weather Service warned of, quote, life-threatening cold in the northern plains on Monday and Tuesday mornings. It said northeastern Montana could see temperatures as low as negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 45 degrees below zero Fahrenheit, negative 42.7 degrees Celsius, and wind chills down to negative 60. It says avalanche warnings were issued for numerous areas for the Rocky Mountains as well too, stretching from Colorado to Washington State, with the danger rated highest in Utah. All right, so be prepared. Things are going to be soaked and wet in a lot of these areas that are flooding. They could see, because this is going to kind of swoop down through the western and midwestern states first and then make its way over to the east. That's what it's looking like right now. And we could see a lot of this water that's been flooding and filling up these lowlands in the mountains in the Appalachians. We could maybe see some of this water freeze, all right, and create even more problems and issues with rescue and things like that. All right, so let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps to get these warnings out just so people know what's going on. All right, they are deploying FEMA. Hopefully this time they're more on top of it and the response is quicker. It seems like FEMA has been moving to get more resources to places like North Carolina in the past few weeks. It seems like they've been moving a lot of assets and resources to the area. So hopefully we see that for this area as well too, and probably even parts of North Carolina. But the thing is with this area, there's not a lot of infrastructure. People don't have cell phone service or internet, in this area, so a lot of the reporting is delayed or slow to make it to the news, to the general public. So it might be bad there too. All right, places in North Carolina might be reflooding that were already flooded out and washed out. They might be having mudslides and things like that, washing areas out, washing bridges, more roads out. We could see even more devastation in areas that were already hit by Hurricane Helene. So let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you're staying safe, staying prepared out there. Make sure you have your gas tanks filled up as well too, your car tanks and your extra tanks, just in case you need to evacuate and leave and drive for long periods of time and not stop, right? You need to just get out of there. And the gas stations might be closed or not even have power near you as well too, with all these power outages. And make sure you have your tanks filled up as well too if you have a generator, in case your power does go out, right? And if you are cold, freezing, and your power's out and you have your tank full in your car, at least you can get in your car, you can turn the heat on and you can be warm in your car, right? And sit in there until daybreak and try to evacuate or get out of there. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.